Hi everyone, this is Emily, a digital transformation consultant at Hyprbots Systems. For today's discussion, I'm pleased to have John Silverstein on the call with me. John is the CEO at LiveData LLC, and today we'll be talking about how can finance controllers become good CFOs. But before that, John, do you mind telling us a little more about yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Emily. I'll tell you a little bit more about Live Data and what I'm doing here as CEO. So we're going in and advising and consulting our CXO, I'll call it, candidates, and going in and really advising them on how to go about their technology, people, and processes, and making sure that they're making informed decisions through their data.
Got it. Thank you so much for that introduction, John. So, just to kick things off, what are some of the key CFO skills that are required in the current times, and how has it changed over the last decade in terms of evolving role of a CFO?
Yeah, I'll answer that first. In the past, the CFO is really looking at the past, doing some basic forecasting and budgeting and things like that. And it was just strictly the numbers and things like that, and just trying to take past trends and things and try to predict what the future is in some cases. But really, it was compliance, it was tax compliance, it was things like that. Now it's a whole new animal in the sense that we have to know exactly what's going on from the top line to bottom, and what the levers are in the business, how to operate the business, how to go about marketing, sales initiatives. Should we do them? Should we not do them? We're making decisions on the right hand, or informing the other CXO members or CEOs and things and management team to say, you should invest or you shouldn't invest, or we need to pull the brakes, or we need to put our foot on the gas pedal. So we're doing a lot of advisory work as a CFO. We're that right hand, and we have to understand not just bookkeeping, accounting, and the rules behind that, but we have to understand the business inside and out, from top line all the way to the bottom line.
Got it. Understood. So, what leadership qualities do you believe are essential for a successful CFO that might not be as critical in a controller role per se?
Yeah, the critical roles is you have to be able to work in every department. A CFO is going to have to make decisions regarding HR, hiring, layoffs, potentially transformation initiatives where you might be implementing new technology that might change people's jobs and processes and things. You also may be making decisions on sales, whether to go to certain events or how do you go to market, and those types of things. So a CFO needs to know exactly what's going on. The controller needs to start building that framework and understanding too. Yes, it's from a compliance standpoint, but they need to put on the other hat a little bit and understand exactly why we're making the decision, and that it's a business decision grounded in data, accounting, and those types of things. It helps, but there's more to decision making than just the financial numbers.
Got it. So essentially having a line of communication with every department.
Yeah, it's being able to talk to a developer and understand what they're doing, or talking to somebody on a warehouse floor or a machine floor, and those types of things, and not just being behind the scenes, recording what's happening. You have to be a known entity to everybody, and if you're a trusted advisor to people that aren't necessarily in finance in those places, then you can be a lot more successful.
Got it. Got it. So, John, you would have seen many finance controllers transitioning into CFO successfully, while some others may not. So, in your view, what are the most critical skills a finance controller should develop to prepare for a CFO role?
Yeah, I think key is being able to communicate and understand the story to all different aspects, to your vendors, customers, and things like that. You can make those deals to really benefit on your contract negotiations from a purchasing side. you can benefit from your communication skills on the customer side on what you're and trying to get those win-win situations with your customers where you're going to market and you're helping each other, you're really partnering. That's critical. And then being able to communicate complex accounting and financial and debit credits and those things to the rest of the organization to get it more a number centric organization. A lot of people glaze over, they turn their eyes the other way and things like that when they start hearing numbers, but they're critical. You have to, if you can't measure the business and put the KPIs in place and understand what the KPIs and how to move those KPIs, you're not going to be successful. So it's critical that the controller develops those skills of not just recording numbers, but knowing the numbers.
True, true. How can finance controllers expand their role from managing the day-to-day financial operations to contributing to a strategic decision making?
Yeah, the biggest thing that is critical is to have the right processes and procedures and technology in place. If you have those things in place, then you can rely on them. The numbers are trusted. You don't have to spend your time just doing the day-to-day blocking and tackling of getting numbers right in the past. You can focus on how do we improve the numbers? How do we change those levers in the business? How do you take action and have systems of action and things around your ERPs, around your business and things like that, where you can actually impact and change and move the needle from either top line growth or bringing it all the way down and removing some cost or getting cash back on the accounts payable or expenses and things like that. There's lots of opportunity out there with tax credits, things like that. If you're staying current and understand that, you can impact the business from a strategic side, and that can provide more funding to ultimately invest back in the business and grow the business even more rapidly.
Understood. Okay. And John, how important is continuous learning and professional development for a finance controller aiming to become a CFO? Can you recommend any specific areas of focus?
Yeah, so CPAs often you have to stay current on the accounting guidance and things like that and what might be changing. That is critical. But beyond that, it's learning your business, understanding the industry, understanding the technology, going to the conferences for those things and seeing what's new. Because there's always something new happening with the AI, machine learning, the processes that people can do now, the other aspects of the business, you can start learning and you can start getting that industry knowledge that ultimately helps you be that partner to the CEO.
Got it. Okay, understood. And for aspiring CFOs, how important is it to have deep understanding of their specific industry or their specific sector?
Yeah, it's getting more critical than it used to be. It used to be that you just needed to follow accounting guidance but you could kind of go industry to industry. Now to be more strategic, your relationships in the industry are more critical, and knowing that business is more and more critical. So if you can get more specific to the industry, it helps you be that strategic partner. But you can learn an industry. Your accounting background will help. And if you have operation background and other backgrounds besides just finance, I think it's helpful as well.
Okay, okay. And with the increasing role of technology in finance, John, what technical skills or knowledge should finance controllers acquire in pursuit of a CFO role?
Yeah, the biggest skills in the office of the CFO that they should acquire is knowing, again, the business, the technology, the people, who's involved, what the operating levers are, how to think strategically, and then that will get them to that next level and really transforming the business and making it a better and better business and that continuous improvement.
Got it. And truly, I'm really curious about, whether a professional network impacts the finance controller's path to becoming a CFO?
Yeah, it absolutely does. You need a professional network. You're not going to make it without one today because you're not going to know everything. There's a lot that goes on into the CFO piece. You might be more industry specific, or you might be coming, if you're coming from that controller standpoint, you might know accounting inside and out, but it's critical to have the mentors and things because there's no way you faced every single situation and things in your career, and it's good to have those advisors on the back burner to help you navigate through the business landscapes and things that change every day.
Mhm. Got it. So, talking about finance controllers, what is your advice for them to balance their responsibility when it comes to financial reporting with the need to engage in strategic planning as well?
Yeah, so it's critical that they're not stuck into trying to just get the numbers right, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, but
Mhm.
being able to step out of that because it's accurately recorded through the tools and technology that you have, or your staff and things that you have the right processes and procedures that you can be in the strategic planning meetings. You can help run those. You can be an advisor and speak up and say, hey, if we do that, our revenue recognition might be different, or if we word things this way, it can impact our financials, or we'll miss a discount, or we won't be able to, if we can put terms into the contract, we can get this extra money back, or things like that. There's a lot of things that the controller might know and be aware of, just dealing with paying AP and AR and the actual bookkeeping, that they can have an impact on the strategic planning process, and it starts preparing them for that next step to be a CFO.
Got it. Got it. And just for context, how important is mentorship or coaching during the transition from controller role to a CFO level role?
Yeah, the mentorship's important, just like your professional network. It's
Mhm.
important because you're gonna have questions, or you're gonna have to just figure things out, and it's better to have those mentors that get you to that next level. Um, and so when you get the mentorship there, you're able to really have somebody to go to. You're not in a dark hole just coming from accounting. It helps you get out of into those other skills that we were talking about earlier, understanding departmental, how HR operates, how sales operates, how your manufacturing processes, operations, and all the other departments are operating, and how you can make an impact or make a decision when you may not be the expert in that area, but you can start to learn enough where you can make a smart decision.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And how do you feel is international experience for a finance controller that's aspiring to become a CFO?
It depends on the industry and the business.
Mhm.
There's obviously domestic businesses that you do not need the international experience. Although I would say that every business, even domestic, it's good to have some international experience, because you can use your business process outsourcing, you can use other services that might be able to be to save on the cost basis, or increase even your quality if you're able to use services that might not be domestic to run your domestic business. So I think it helps you, it gives you an edge if you understand how to work with an international team, advisors, and if you do so, or you're in an industry where you can expand internationally, obviously that's a great growth prospects as well, that you bring to the table that someone that doesn't have the international experience wouldn't have.
Hmm. Got it. Okay. And in terms of collaboration, how can finance controllers enhance their collaboration with other departments to provide more of a strategic value per se?
Yeah, the collaboration, you need to be an enabler of all the business. And that's by providing data, statistics, and your opinion on things, on how you're educated and all those things, on how you should go about, solving problems within the business. End of the day, businesses are trying to solve a problem, and that's why they're in business. And it's how you can help and assist and give them the right weapons or things to go about it to really conquer or get through all these issues and problems that we face every day.
Got it. Okay. And John, can you discuss the importance of risk management in the CFO role and how exactly controllers can prepare for these responsibilities?
Yeah, the risk management piece is very critical, and sometimes it's a separate role even within an organization. As you get larger and larger, it's critical. It's very hard to stay on top of too, because there's so many risks out there that comes with the technology, the financials, your stewardship, that you have to make sure everything's accurate. There's risk just with the economy, with international, with your suppliers, with your vendors, with your partners, with your customers. There's risk on every aspect of the business. So it's critical that you start to understand and be aware, and use tools to try to identify some of the risks in the business, and then make those decisions on how you deal with the risk, whether you can solve it or you actually have to buy insurance for it, or whatever it is. Those decisions there's more and more decisions to be made on there as time goes on, because there's just Intuit risk. No one knew about COVID and things, and it happened, right? The world's changing every day, both domestically and internationally, and you have to be ready to face those issues and be able to, how do you operate in the new environment, because it's a new environment every day.
Agreed, agreed. So, shifting gears to ethics and compliance, how can finance controllers ensure that they maintain high standards of ethics and compliance as they move into broader leadership roles?
Yeah, it's critical that the finance person is someone that stays 100%, is going to stay on board and make sure that they're 100% compliant and understand the business risks of, there's still decisions to be made and there's business risks to be identified, but it's critical that the finance person makes everyone aware of the decisions to make to go one direction or another direction, and the risks associated. It goes back to that other question. But the finance person, there's no room for error. There's plenty of news stories and things like that where finance people, cross the line, and it's just not acceptable.
Yep, I completely agree. And John, if you had to give one piece of advice to finance controllers who aspire to become CFOs, what would that be?
Get out more out of the office and really understand the rest of the business, be able to talk intelligently about what the business does and how to impact the business from top to bottom line. It's critical that you aren't just, you'll understand your numbers better if you understand the business. It's not just about bookkeeping and recording the AP/AR and sales and all that stuff. It's really about understanding the business and how you can have an impact, or how other departments can have an impact if they have the right tools in place to make decisions, or data or information that they might need, which that's kind of what the CFO office has become, is that steward of all the data, all the information for the business.
Agreed. Okay, that's great advice. So, thank you so much for your presence, John. Talking to you about this topic and the journey of a controller into becoming a CFO was honestly amazing, and I truly learned so much. So, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Emily.